Hey, it's John again to play Immaculate Grid. I am going for the low time. I'm going for the low rarity score. I'm trying not to screw up. I've had screw ups each of the last couple of days, including with my recording, but it's a low budget program. You get what we paid for. Let's see. The one thing I wanted to comment, I haven't actually gotten to really be as clued into baseball like day to day and game to game. I've not actually seen a full Brewers game in a little bit. But I was just catching up on the standings and seeing who the leaders are. We're about a fifth of the way through the season. Some teams have played their 32nd and 33rd games, which puts you at, right about a fifth of the way through the year. And one thing that stood out to me was shocker, just spoiler alert. Mookie Betts is really good at baseball, as it turns out. But he's north of 3 WAR, 1/5 of the way through the year, which is like a 15 WAR pace, which is incredible. Obviously he's always a MVP contender. But he's hitting over 360 right now with a 600 slugging percentage. That dude is, even by his standards, having a season of his life. So that's pretty exciting. Good for the Dodgers. Um, I know that's not a searing insight that Mookie Betts is really good, but I was taken aback by just how good his numbers are, over a month into the year. So, all right, I'm gonna play. Let's avoid any landmines this time. Let's see. That was grid 387. Still making up the grids I missed last week. I'm gonna hit enter, hit play, and away we go. All right. Let's see. Paul Wainer works there. So the one team combo, less than 1%. Let's get Jose Guillen, born outside the United States. Uh, Garrett Cole. Shoot. I should have picked someone I could spell the name to. I can never spell Garrett Cole's name right. Shoot. Drebeck. All right. 40 career war, or Jackie Robinson works. He's over 60. All right. Born outside the United States, Pujols. And Pedro Martinez will work here. All right. Let's see. Silver. Damn, that's a good one. Tom Glavine. Um, shoot. Silver Slugger. What about Giovanni? Yeah, it's, you know what? I want to save that one. I'm already over a minute. I want to save that one. That was a good one. I don't know. Juan Gonzalez. Cool. And any Silver Slugger from the Dodgers. How about Mookie Betts, since I just mentioned him? Cool. 78 in a minute 22. That was way too slow. I don't know what took me so long. Betts was the highest one there. Shohei was the highest one there. That's not a surprise. Should have gone with him. I thought of Glavine because I knew he won 3 Silver Sluggers and was sub 3 in each of his MVP, or rather Cy Young seasons. Maddox, it's a good pick. Garrett Cole has 2 R's and 1 T at the end. That's where I wasted like 15 seconds, was trying to couple Garrett Cole. I knew he had a sub 3 ERA season with the Pirates. Clemente, obviously. Rich Hill taking 16% up here. That's pretty cool. I might have blown it by going Paul Wainer too soon. Oh well. All right. Grid 398. I don't consider it like a loss if I go a minute 20. It's just longer than I was hoping for. All right. We'll stop share. We'll reshare on that grid. All right. Let's see. Who else? I believe this is a Roberto Hernandez combo, right? 0.2. Still using him. Let's see. Russell Martin, the interesting pick. Jose Lind in there. I went with, let's see. Let's go with our guy Ed Morris here. He's 1880s stud. Great look. He looks like he's stunned that someone is taking his picture, which, to be fair, photography was relatively new in the 19th century. So he's like, what is this magic device that you're capturing my essence with? Um, yeah. Let's see. 40 career war, sub 3 ERA in a season. Go with our guy, Bullet Rogan. Nice. He's still sub point 0.1. I'll keep going with him as long as that makes sense to do. Let's see. 40 career war from a Dodger. Who's a player that just sort of popped into Brooklyn briefly. So I think of Ernie Lombardi, who did briefly was with the Dodgers, but WAR always underrates catchers. Wrote a whole chapter about it in my book. So maybe I don't go with Ernie Lombardi. I'm not as sure about him. Jack Quinn is someone we've used before. He's a 200 game winner. I don't think he's a high WAR guy. I think he might have gotten 40 though, just based on longevity. Um, so I'm not as sure on that one. How about Jim Gilliam? Drysdale certainly works. I think Koufax does work. He's in the 50s, but that's not the kind of guy you want. You want someone who's briefly in LA. How about Dick, or not Rick, Dick Allen? Played like a season in LA, was in the 58 war territory. 0.2. All right. I'll take it. It's interesting. Like these are comparable levels of popularity. And I'd have to see what the totals are on both of these, but like this is a 0.2, like one season as a Dodger, not in the Hall of Fame. Probably should be in the Hall of Fame, I think. He has the same OPS plus as Hank Aaron. I know he couldn't hit, or he couldn't feel he could hit. He couldn't field very well, but um he should arguably be in the Hall of Fame. Then you got Roberto Hernandez, who barely played with these teams, but I think is becoming something of an immaculate grid uh go to. Especially as I mean the numbers used to be up in the high 200,000s for this game, and now they're down around 80,000 or so per episode, or not per episode, per game. You can like consider that, sad if you want. I don't know. It's 80,000 is still a cool number. And it means I do think it's a lot more diehard people who've stuck with Immaculate Grid, and thus you get, some of these learned things. Most people are not going to come up with Pirates, Dodgers, Roberto Hernandez, most lay people, but those of us hardcore baseball fans who play Immaculate Grid every day, we've got Roberto Hernandez queued up. So got that one in our back pocket. Anyway, that was a little bit of a rant. I don't know. Silver Slugger for the Dodgers. Doesn't Tim Leary work? Former Brewer. He does. 0.3. And I am going to use Giovanni. Get another Brewer in there. 0.4. That's actually a little bit higher than I would have thought. When people make videos, do they normally like edit out coughing? I'm trying to think. I've never been consciously aware of it, even though I do watch a fair amount of, like content, podcasts and whatnot. And I don't edit, obviously. I'm just like, man, I'm coughing all the time. I wonder if that's disrupting the content. Anyway, Roberto Hernandez would have worked here. Oh well. Russell Martin works. I think I mentioned him. Let's see. Get Jose Lind. 2%. Wow, that's a bit higher than I was expecting. Let's see, 40 career war, born outside the United States. Um, who's at least semi sneaky who would work? Thinking like Andrew Jones would be a nice pick because he's not in the Hall of Fame, but he's up over 60 WAR. Probably should be again. Um, Again, Jack Quinn also works for Not Born in the United States. I just don't know what his career war was. Should really have that in my back pocket because he was born in like modern day Slovakia. He was born in, I think, the Austro-Hungarian Empire. I think. Um, Pretty sure I've got that right based on the timing. Yeah, he would have had to because he would have been born in the 19th century while the Austro-Hungarian Empire was still a thing. Let's see. 40. I think Yachty is just over 40, but he's a very recent retiree, so maybe I don't go that route. Canadians are always a little bit sneaky. So Larry Walker. might be a pick. Russell Martin. Well, I don't know if Russell Martin's up over 40 WAR. In fact, probably not because of again how WAR underrates catchers. Um, if we're thinking about some elite, what about how about let's go El Tiante, the Sun. Yeah, almost 1%. That was a long way to go to get to point 0.9. And I was trying to think of someone who I don't know how many people would know how high Tiant's WAR. It's right around 60, which is that borderline Hall of Fame level. Um, I'm pro Tiant Hall of Fame, but all right. Oh, wait a minute. I played Giovanni Gallardo in the wrong spot. When did he have a sub 3 RA season? I think he would have only had a sub 3 RA season like, oh, I made a mistake. I'm surprised he's that high for a sub 3 hour season because I don't think he ever did that in a full season. I think Gallardo, I meant to play him here. Oh man, I made a mistake and got away with it. I think he maybe in his '08 year where he got hurt and they still started a playoff game, but he only pitched like 3 or 4 games during the regular season. I think that's the season that works. I got lucky. I got so lucky. All right. Born, I've drawn this out long enough. Born outside the United States in DC, Silver Slugger. Um, just trying to think of other elite pitchers born outside the United States who would have won a Silver Slugger. Zambrano comes to mind, but Zambrano is almost too obvious because he was so good at hitting for a pitcher. Um, Pudge Rodriguez would be a solid choice. Salvador Perez would be a solid choice, but he's going to be a lot higher. Um, what other really good hitting pitchers? I'm just thinking like the 90s. I've got Glavine for 3. I've got Smoltz for 1 or 2. Mike Hampton for like 5 or 6 in a row into the early 2000s. None of these guys are going to work. So Andrew Jones will work. Larry Walker will work. So like a sneaky like shortstop, second baseman who just won 1, maybe in the 80s. If there is, I'm just not coming up with them. I think Russell Martin has won Silver Sluggers. He works in a few of these, doesn't he? I think Russell Martin won in '07. Let's see if I'm right about that. All right, so that was a long way to go to get to a rarity score of 5. Martin taking point 2. Everyone was sub 1. I got really lucky on this one though. I played him for the wrong. I wanted to play him for born outside the United States. She's born in Mexico. He's only 38. Garrett should still be pitching. Love to see Giovanni pitch again. I love Giovanni Gallardo. Okay, so it was this season. I was right. It was 4 games started in the 2008 season. He got hurt, but then started, I think, game 1 of the NLDS. Didn't give up any runs. I guess he gave unearned runs, but looks like he pitched pretty well. Took the L though. I'll always be a Giovanni fan. In fact, the jersey I was wearing yesterday, the jersey or whatever, that's a Giovanni Gallardo throwback jersey. I'm always a fan. There's something about a gritty ace who, isn't necessarily the most polished pitcher in the world, but will give you, that kind of effort, go deep into games. I mean, I watched live a couple complete or at least one complete game shutout that he pitched. He had some self wins because he was like I said, Silver Slugger. He won in 2010. Um, anyway, I don't know what it is. I can well I know it's a few things, but there will always be a soft spot in my heart for Giovanni. Anyway, thanks a lot for playing. I guess Jose Lind was my only real stinker here. I guess let's look up not Louis Tiant, born Cuba, but Jack Quinn, just because I want to be armed with this guy. Why are you saying he was born in Slovakia if Slovakia didn't exist in 1883? Let's see. So he would have worked for, yeah, he had almost 60 WAR, so he was easily up there. Figured. I mean, he pitched that long, 250 wins. Not in the Hall of Fame. Okay, so he would have worked for a number of these, and he did pitch for the Dodgers. Did not pitch for the Pirates. He pitched for the Reds though at the end. All right, cool. Well, that was a long way to go to get a 5, but five's a good score, so I'm happy with that. Thanks a lot for playing, and I'll make one more and then be probably back at it tomorrow. Peace.